Well, good afternoon, guys, from a very, very happy Toon view, I have to say. For once, after a game, I'm not losing my rag. I'm perfectly happy, and it's a great day to be a football fan. We were absolutely shite today. Let's not beat around the bush. We were terrible. However, Maxi comes on, turns the game for us, and we end up taking 3 points, which is what it's all about. It's what it's all about. We needed 3 points today, and it's certainly from that first half pile of crap that we saw, it didn't look like it was going to happen at all. However, the game changed when Maxi came on, obviously setting Murphy up for a beautifully taken goal. And then a solo goal from Maxi, which we have been waiting for so long. And we end up winning the game 2-1. Far too many crosses allowed to come in. But just how good was Dubravka today? How good was Dubravka? He was absolutely outstanding today. And, I'm just so pleased for him because, his clearances and stuff like that haven't looked too good since he's come back into the side. But now, my God, I mean, just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant there. Commanding his box so well, not allowing Burnley any sort of drops or anything like that to pounce on. He was just superb from the word go today. And what can you say? We've got 3 points. Massive, massive 3 points for us today. Without a shadow of a doubt. That was a huge 3 points because if we'd have lost today, we were right back in it again, stuck in the mire, expecting, are Fulham going to win a game? Are we going to lose a game? Now we have that 6 points gap, and it is a crucial 6 points gap. Absolutely crucial, because that will have really, really dug the knife into Fulham today. They'll have been wanting Burnley to win that game desperately so, but now we have a 6 point cushion, and we've got to try and build. Now that Maximan and Wilson are coming back into the team, we certainly got some threats up front. But we need to be stronger in midfield, guys. That's my opinion. I think Shelvey the game's passing him by. Sean Longstaff ran his heart out today, and nobody could tell me otherwise. He ran his absolute heart out. Shelvey didn't, for me, again, perform. And, as captain, he has to put in a better performance than that. But we just needed a bit more strength and power in midfield. Almiron, for me, was poor today as well. Didn't really get on the ball very much and didn't do much when he had the ball. So we do need to improve that midfield. So let me know in the comments what you think and how you would improve the midfield. Mike Dixon comes on and says, Joe Linton, the waist of a shirt and the famous number 9-1, shocking. Yeah, he wasn't great again today. I don't believe the front two were either. I thought Dwight Gale was poor, but people know my opinions on Dwight Gale. I just don't think he's good enough. Afternoon, mate. Get in, says exquisite. Nice to see some positive messages coming in. It really is, considering the dross we've had to put up with over the last few weeks. Layla says, good result, but look at our next 5 games. Worrying while Fulham have Burnley and Arsenal and Southampton in those 5 games. Good win, but look at our next 5 games. I realise that, but this is why we needed the 3 points today, Layla, because we know what games we've got coming up. We know Fulham have slightly easier games if you look at it that way, but the whole point of today was getting the 3 points, getting the win in the bag and moving on. We've done that. We can only win today and then move on to the next one. It's going to be a very, very difficult period, undoubtedly, the next few games for Newcastle, which was why it was crucial to get the 3 points today, and we did. So I'm just so pleased. 3 wins in 22, yeah, it's still not good enough, but we've got 3 wins now, not 2 wins, and that makes a big difference in the points. Luke says, I think we'll be safe. Hopefully so. Hopefully that win is good enough now. But it's going to be a very, very tough run in. We're still not safe, but let's just celebrate a win when we get one, guys. It's so important. Paul says friggin' defence is shocking. I thought the defenders defended very well today. The 3 centre-backs were superb. Kieran Clark was a little bit dodgy first 20 minutes, but I thought after that, the 3 of them were superb. Blocking everything, heading away. I think Murphy could have done a lot better. I thought, Barry said to me halfway through the second half that he thought Murphy was poor. I didn't really take it on board, but I should have, because some of his clearances were poor, but he scored a fantastic goal. But the 3 centre-backs, it's midfield that I was bothered about. We're letting Burnley come through us too easily. They were getting in, and that's where, they were getting balls wide and crossing in. I just think we needed to be stronger in midfield. Luke says, got to be positive if you want to get anywhere. Exactly. Keeping it tuned. Good afternoon, mate. 6 point breathing space. I just hope we don't F this up again like the 11 point gap we had last time. Few fuming for most of the game, but happy to see 3 points. Yeah, a lot of people were foaming, including me. It wasn't the greatest performance in the world I've ever seen. That's a certainty. First half, we were absolutely dross. I didn't see any way we were getting back into that game. Unless, one of those two substitutions, i.e. Wilson or ASM, turned the game. And luckily for us, ASM came on, did his business, and did what he needed to do, turned the game. Corby, good afternoon. Dubravka, my man of that, brilliant dealing with crosses. I mean, a lot of people are agreeing with Corby, and rightly so, because he was superb today, Dubravka. No doubt in my eyes that he commanded that penalty area so well today. The amount of crosses that he had to deal with, he was punching, and he made sure he got to the ball. It didn't matter who he had to go through to get the ball. He had to go through, I think it was Jacob Murphy in the first half. He went through him. He didn't care as long as he was getting the ball. And that's what we need from a keeper. And that's where I think Dubravka excels a little bit over Karl Darlow, is when we're in them situations. I think Dubravka commands his box a lot better. Shelvey assist too. Yeah, well, yeah. A win is a win. Dummett and Longstaff were bad. I disagree with that. Everybody's going to have their opinions on who was good and bad. I disagree that Dummett and Longstaff were bad. I thought Longstaff run his heart out today, and was a little bit, I think, let down by Jonjo. I really do. And Almiron to a certain extent, because Almiron was poor again today. Andrew says yes. Paul says Dubravka man of the match. Charles, what a great match in here, Paul. Hope you're good. I am good, mate. It makes a nice change to do a video with a win for once. It's been a very, very long time. Andrew says we're staying up. Dave, good afternoon to you. Hope you're well, and hope your missus as well, mate. I know you've been struggling a little bit, so I hope everything's okay, Dave. Right, was that one of them win things? Yes, it was a win thing, Dave. I know we haven't coped with it. We haven't put up with it very much. We haven't seen it very much, but hey-ho, we're in action. We've got 3 points. Good to see you too, Andrew. Shelvey work rate is awful. Totally agree. Considering he's our captain as well. And that's what sort of doesn't sit with me, right, is the fact that Shelvey is our captain. And I don't agree with it 100%. Richie should be captain for me when he's in the team, because Shelvey doesn't offer what a captain should offer, which is giving 100%, leading by example and things like that. Shelvey doesn't do it. Yes, I know. Look at our next 5 games is tough, Layla. I know. You think Brucey be having a new contract? God, I hope not. However, it is just one win. Let's not get too carried away here. We're sort of giving Bruce 6-year contracts and things like that. Jonathan says, hi, Paul. Get in there. We're staying up now. I really do hope so, my man. I do hope so. ASM, our saviour. Yeah, I mean, what a second goal that was. We'll beat West Ham. I do apologise. I had it wrong about Saint last chat. Don't worry about that. I mean, I've been critical of St Maximin lately, not doing enough. The finishing product not there and things like that. But my God, he had a finishing product today. Lovely pass back to Murphy for his goal, who, by the way, took that superbly well with a side foot, just curled it away from the keeper into the corner. And then ASM's goal. I mean, I was saying, play Wilson in. Play bloody Wilson in. And then obviously he cut back onto his left foot, drilled it in the bottom corner, because I thought he was going to curl it the other way, but he didn't. He drilled it in the bottom corner. So that obviously put the goalkeeper off as well, which is great to see. Think we are safe today. Richie, I jury seriously reckon. I'm not sure what that means. Good evening, Annie. I hope you're well, buddy. Very happy, Paul. What's up with your camera? What do you mean, what's up with my camera? There doesn't seem to be anything wrong with the camera. I'm looking at it now. Everything seems to be fine. I'm not sure. West Bromwich Albion, the one to watch. Longstaff boot the fit. Oh, God, almighty God. That was a penalty. I mean, all day long, that was a penalty. I don't understand how that wasn't given, because then in the second half, exactly the same thing happens. It's a kick to the head of Longstaff, and he gives a free kick. Exactly the same scenario. So you tell me how VAR decide that isn't a penalty. I fucking hate VAR. I absolutely despise VAR. And I think it should be scrapped and just leave goal line technology and leave human error to it for offsides and things like that, because I fucking hate it, man. It's terrible. It really is. Yes, get in, says Callum. Tony says, if you look at Shelvey on the build-up to their goal, Half-Hearted doesn't cover it, and he was captain. Yeah. Totally true. Gordon, good afternoon, mate. Toon Black White. Great win. First half crap, missed second half. Second half, well, to be honest, were we any better in the second half? Because we came over that second half, it was absolute dog shit. And then suddenly we make the substitution, we get 2 goals, but then we were shit after that as well. The performance was terrible. But I've been banging on for weeks now saying it doesn't matter about the performance now. What we need is 3 points to get us a bit of distance between us and the bottom 3, and that's what we've done today. We didn't play well at all, and I don't think anybody's going to say that. And if you do, I'd love to know why. Massive that St. Wilson are back. Give us a bit of hope. Yeah, they do, without a doubt. Can you please say... No, I'm not going to do that, Taylor. Shelby needs to leave. Massive win, says Luke. Conjo says, Shelby was a lazy bastard again today. Longstaff had to do twice as much running. Nonetheless, fantastic 3 points. Almost forgot what it feels like to win. Totally agree with that. Totally agree. It wasn't just moving away from Fulham. It was dragging 3 over teams back in the fight. Yes, and that's true, because we suddenly pull in Brighton again. Burnley, to a degree, pulled right back in again. So there will be teams looking over the shoulders now. So I think it's going to be a tremendous run-in, but my God, it's going to be nervy some of the time. Get in there. I lumped on Newcastle to beat them. Very happy, Bunny. The winning goal was tremendous build-up and execution. Tom says, massive result. We've been holding the door open for Fulham for far too long. We've closed it now, but we need to get it barricaded. Exactly right. Brilliant way of putting it, Tom, to be honest. We need to barricade it. We need to get it locked, firmly shut, and don't allow them back into it. Is Brucey staying? I really don't know, mate, to be honest. Wouldn't want to have this game without Dubravka outstanding, commanding his box today. Yeah, and I was really surprised that Sky gave the man of the match to ASM. I know he turned the game when he came on, but if it wasn't for Dubravka, come on, we would have lost the game. Some of his saves he made, the commanding of his box, the punches, the crossing, catching the crossing, everything was perfect from Dubravka today. And without a doubt, that is our man of the match. Donny says, Leeds fan in New Zealand, fantastic result. Hope the tide has turned. Let's have more of that. Gordon, great win. Thank God. Roll on the next. 7 points, I think, will be enough. It's going to be close. I mean, let's not, we're not out of it yet by any stretch of the imagination. So there is a lot of things still to be done in this season. And with the games we've got coming up, very, very tough games as well. So it's going to be squeaky bum time, put it that way. We set up to sit back. Very, very lucky to have ASM. Let's take the positives. 1 loss in 5. Well, certainly Steve Bruce will be saying that. Kev says, high boot in box, no penalty. High boot outside box, free kick. Explain. I can't explain that, mate. I've just said that. I mean, how can you not give that as a penalty? I do not, in my wildest dreams, understand how you cannot give a penalty there. I mean, Longstaff's coming in for the header. It's a high kick, and it was proved in the second half that is a foul because he gave a foul for exactly the same thing outside the box. I mean, where is the consistency of these officials? Sitting looking at VAR. I mean, to some degree, it's not maybe the technology. It's that bloody arseholes sitting working the technology and making decisions that is a problem. I mean, I'd love to someone from VAR to come out and explain that decision as to why that wasn't given, because it was just an absolute farce. Dubravka was immense. Dubravka made the right call every time, looked solid. Sick of Shelby. I think a lot of people are. Apple pie and custard all round this afternoon. I've got one coming up in the oven tonight, hopefully, so we'll see. Michael says, what about the no pen? I'm disgusted with the no pen, to be honest. I just do not get that decision. But VAR should be responsible for coming out and telling us how the fuck they came to that conclusion, because I don't know. I really don't know. And then to give a free kick for exactly the same thing in the second half, it just makes the officials look like dickheads, complete dickheads. And those that are sitting behind the screens at the VAR look even more complete dickheads. Honestly, terrible. Shelby's legs were gone after 70 minutes. Kev says the gaps in midfield was like the gaps between me and the missus in bed. I hope your missus doesn't see that, mate. But yes, I agree. The gaps in midfield that were there because Shelby wasn't working his arse off. And I just think Miggy was... I mean, he was running around a lot, but he just had no impact on the game at all today, Miggy. But there's going to be games like that for him. What a joy to see Hendrick come on. Useless sub, but what the hell, we won, I don't care. I know. I mean, he was... I think he was always going to bring him on at some stage in the game because of the links he has with Burnley, etc. Just a shocker. Forgot how this felt. Feel on top of the world. Yes, I do as well. And it makes a nice change to be able to enjoy the rest of my Sunday without worrying about having to do a stupid player ratings video of like 0 and 1s and 3s and stuff like that. We've actually won a game. And how different does it feel? Josh says, if it wasn't for Maxi, this show would be all about Steve not bringing on Wilson and Maxi and anger on he needs to leave. Completely. I mean, come on. I mean, it's not really a big thing for Steve Bruce. It's not like a massive star on his shoulder, is it, for bringing them two on? Because everybody could see that the game needed a change. And we needed Maxi and Wilson on up top because we were ineffective again. We were completely ineffective. We had no out ball. It wasn't, all we were doing was hoofing the ball up the pitch. It was coming straight back at us. And it was back to, shite Bruce ball again. That's how it was, basically. But we kept in and, obviously, the change was always going to come. So anybody that's, saying, oh, Steve Bruce, brilliant substitution. Bullshit, man. It was always going to be that substitution. It was all down to when the time was to make the change. Big ref mistake not giving that pen and then giving a foul for exactly the same thing in the second half. Dave says, Paul, all good, mate. Thank you for asking. Things getting better every day. That's great to hear, Dave. Dave's a big follower of the channel. Sometimes comes on the fan forum, and I love Dave. He's a great man, and I'm just pleased everything's getting better at home for you, mate. Taylor says, also say, no. You can get me to say what you want, but I'm not going to say it, mate. ASM, what's his transfer value? Ashley rubbing his hands. I'm not even going to talk about that because I don't want him to go. I want him to play like that every time. When he gets the ball and you expect something to happen. A bit like in the days of Ginola, Robert, Ben Arthur. They could just disappear out the game, but suddenly then they'd get the ball and you always expect something to happen. That's what I expect with ASM. Just something out of the blue, something just to happen. It's great to see. When Newcastle win, the sun shines. It certainly does. Although I've had all 4 seasons here today. I've had snow, rain, I've had sunshine, wind. It's crazy, man. Pete, good evening. Good afternoon, matey. Get in there. Only thing that deserves a 0 rating today is VAR. Exactly. And there'll be no tactics sheet written up, I presume, in your videos today, Peter. And it'll be a nice, pleasant 4 horsemen of the Toon show tomorrow. God knows what we'll get on there. But, we'll see what happens. But pleased you're happy as well, buddy. Troll says a captain has the respect of the team and can't see Shelby has that. No. I agree with that. I think that the only man that will possibly have that amongst the team is, without a doubt, Matt Ritchie. Guys, if you're enjoying the show, please do smash the like button. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy what you see, please do consider subscribing. Lots of live streams and great shows on this channel. And also, if you feel like donating to my Parkinson's charity, please do hit the super chat button. I'm trying to raise £600 for Parkinson's UK. So all the money from super chats will be going straight to the charity. So thank you very much in advance for that. Andy says Darlow is a good keeper, but that would have been an own goal if he was playing. Dubravka made so many crucial saves today. He deserves as much praise as ASM, without a doubt, and if not more. In my opinion, probably more. He was absolutely fantastic. And yes, when you look at that replay back on the Dummett error that could have been an own goal, if you play that back in real speed when you're down alongside the pitch, it's an even better save because he has to react really quickly to it. Yes, the commentator said, it was a good height for him. They'll always say that. But he had to get to it quite quickly, and he certainly did. And that just means concentration is switched on 100%, which is what we need. Michael said should have had a penalty, without a doubt. Andrew, you had it wrong about everything yesterday. Yes, he did. He did indeed. Aidan says 2 good results with a 3-5 at the back. Do we change to a 4? Keep what is working. I don't see any need to change because obviously if we're getting results, that's 4 points in 2 games with this formation. All right, we didn't play very well today, but we got the points. So I don't see any way we need to change it, especially with, ASM and Wilson coming back. We can play them 2 up front or, Wilson up front and ASM just behind him. That may work a lot better. Ritchie overlapping, Murphy overlapping on the right. We've got options now, and that's the main thing. Kevin says, Paul, proud luck, don't mention the VAR. We'll try not to, but I guess we have to because it is a talking point, isn't it? Maximan is on a different level than anyone on the pitch. David says 35 points for safety, and we will beat Fulham, so we are okay. Massive 3 points today. ASM's a footballing god. He certainly was today, without a shadow of a doubt. Paul, Ginola or St. Maximin or Robert, best French winger. I will always say Ginola at the minute. Robert was outstanding. Ben Arthur was outstanding, but St. Maximin's got a way to go to catch up Ginola. If he's consistent enough, then yes, he'll replace Ginola. But for me, Ginola. And join ASM while we have him. He's too good for this team. that's a very good point as well. You know, we have to look at other teams will be watching him without a shadow of a doubt, won't they? The kind of performances, the things he can do with the football like he did today. That's what we want to see for the rest of the season. But can we hang on to him is the question. Donny says 4 points in 2 games. Harry says, hope we still, Paul. I'm really positive after today, to be honest. I think Fulham have got a massive, massive job on their hands now. They would have had a massive kick in the teeth today, and Scott Parker, his heart would have sunk to the bottom of the River fucking Thames, I'm telling you, because when Burnley scored, he would have been elated, but when we've scored 2 goals that quick, it'll be at the bottom of the Thames now, and hopefully it can stay there, and they just don't have the passion or the courage or the heart to get back out. Here, Paul, that SMB Andrew was agreeing he was wrong. Hendrick saved the game, if you ask me, wouldn't survive. Yeah, good point. He survived. He came on for the last 2 minutes and saved the day, didn't he? McMaster was on VAR duty today. Well, we ain't going to see because we're Newcastle United. Yeah, that's a very good point, to be honest. Dubravka did well. I mean, a lot of people saying that. Trenton Lancashire ref didn't give blatant penalty against Lancashire team. Premier League is corrupt, but we already know this. I mean, yeah, there's so many things against Newcastle, to be honest, and that was just a farce. I mean, the length of time as well, they took a look at that incident, how they could come up with a no fucking penalty. I mean, it just blasts, it just boggles. My mind is boggled. Obviously, that is just worst thing I've ever seen, really. Terrible. How can you kick someone in the face and it not be a foul? Somebody tell me that. Good afternoon, mate. Hope that you are well. I'm delighted with the win. I am smashing. Bruce will say we played well, so there's one who will praise the performance. Well, he's bound to, isn't he? I mean, he's bound to say we played well. You know, had we lost that game, it would have been the penalty incident that changed the game. He would have had some excuse. I don't really give a shit what Bruce has got to say, to be honest. All I'm bothered about is the 3 points. I couldn't give a damn if he says we played well or we didn't. I don't listen to what he says anyway, because most of it's just shite. Aiden says, knock, who's there? Dragon who? Dragon my balls again. Everybody seems to be in a good mood today, don't they, Aiden? Spot on, Tom says, Jag. Massive win for the Toon. ASM the difference, love the man. Feel confident again we can stay up. Personally think Fulham are bottling it, going to celebrate with plenty of beers. Yep, best way to do it. Charlie says, do you think Fulham is good as finished at this point? I don't think they're finished yet. I mean, let's not, we can't just sort of say, yes, we're staying up now. We that's it. That's not the case at all here. What I am saying is Fulham's hearts will have sank when we won that game, because they have now got to, they've got to, like a phoenix, they've got to rise somehow. And I just think their hearts would have sank with that result today. Certainly when Burnley scored, there would have been hope, because there was always the goal difference. There was always just the 3 points. But now it's amazing how such a scenario can change after a 90-minute game of football. It really can. And this has changed today. It's changed the whole perspective of the Premier League relegation battle. I came in here earlier and saw everyone annoyed, but now we were all chuffed. What happened? I don't think anybody's been annoyed. I've never seen any annoyed since I came in the studio. So maybe it's early on before we scored, people were already making comments thinking we'd lost, but they've obviously retracted them. Bruce and Newcastle were negative until we went behind. We were nearly Bruce again. The man is an idiot. Gale and Joe Linton need to be shown the extra door. Yeah, I agree, Ken. I think we were awful. And yes, you could say Bruce has got lucky again today, because to be honest, like I've said before in the show, it was the obvious substitution to make. That was always going to be the 2 players he was going to bring on at the same time. It just so happens that we took our front 2 off who were ineffective again. And I really don't think, Dwight Gale for me, he's just not up to scratch. And Joe Linton was back to his normal self today, which was unfortunate. But then again, what support did they get? You have to say that as well. They didn't get a lot of support. Trenton Fernandez will be better for the game too. He looked like a man who was nowhere near match fit. Yeah, he was out of gas, but my God, he put a shift in today. And that's all we've seen from Fernandez. Every time he steps on the pitch for Newcastle United, he puts in a shift and puts in a big shift. And I'm delighted for him. I'm delighted he's back in the team and he needs to stay there. Taylor says, no. I don't know why all right, you're going to donate. So I'll say Sean Hobkirk is Captain Twonk. There you go. I've said it, Taylor. So now I better see a donation from you, my man. And it better be a decent one for me saying that. Kevin says, okay, Andrew, I'm going to catch up later. I've got to go to work here, though. Let's be fair. Burnley is shite. Exactly, Paul Dubravka, man of the match. How did Sky have ASM? We ain't out of it yet. No, we're not. But it's been that long since we celebrated a win. I think we need to be quite positive after today. Yes, we didn't play well, but we've said for ages now we need the points rather than performances at this stage, and we got that today. We got the result without the performance. Warren says, can't believe that was given as a penalty anywhere else. It's a free kick. I'm staggered by that decision. I'm absolutely staggered, and I will be for days to come on that. Let's push on for Europe, says Andre. Yeah, let's have a late push. Stephen says there's panic. That's why. Yeah. Gabe says we've been given the golden chance. Fulham are lacking confidence and have a tough run of games coming up. Our run of games aren't either, but I have faith in some of these lads to do the job for us. We do have some very, very tough games coming up. But if we target the likes of Sheffield United and Fulham as winnable games, there's another 6 points. So do we really think that Fulham are going to get those points upon us? I don't think they will. But hey, this is the Premier League, this is football, and it's also Newcastle United. So anything at all can happen in this crazy game, especially with our bloody club. I fancy Newcastle to turn one of these big teams over. Yeah, well, it wouldn't be unlike Newcastle, would it? Dubravka was quality, yet he really needs to learn how to kick the ball. That's the only thing that, lets him down sometimes, is distribution. But hey, let's focus on the positive today. He was outstanding when he needed to be. Some great saves, commanded his penalty area so well. And I'm just chuffed to bits with him. Alas just texted me and says, can you get some apple pie and custard on your way back from work? I think there'll be a lot of apple pie and custard getting eaten this afternoon. Happy Feet says the worst part of VAR is offside. If it's the pinky finger or a CM of a kneecap, it's not offside. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is the boot. Yeah, I think offside needs to be changed as well. I think it's a pathetic rule. Shelby was horrible. Tony says, I think we should have the same as rugby, where we can hear the conversation and they have to explain their decisions. Yeah, I brought this up on another show I was on. I believe it was with Richard's Arsenal channel, and I went on there. We were discussing all about VAR. It was a great show, actually. I said something along them lines that, we need to hear what's being said. If we can hear the conversation like they do in other sports, then there's no problem with it, is there? Why should there be a problem with the fans hearing the conversation? They're doing rugby, they're doing cricket. But football kind of has this sort of secrecy to it. It's like a sinister secrecy. It's pathetic, really. Jay says, all day that was a pen. Even Roy Keane and Jamie Redknapp said it was. They did at halftime. What a win, says it's a joy. Damn right. Brian, good afternoon, matey. Paul, big wins. VAR's getting reviewed for next season. I bloody hope so. And I hope they chuck it in the bin, to be honest, because I fucking hate the thing. Andy Gray says, afternoon, Paul, love the show. Good result for a poor performance. Just hope we can hang on to ASM. VAR needs to do one. Yeah, it's going to be all about ASM at the end of the season, whether he stays, and what happens at the club. Because there's no doubt that, ASM has ambition. He wants to be somewhere. He wants to win things, as does Wilson, as done quite a few players. But we'll have to wait at the end of the season for all that to come about, but it's going to be a very important close season. That's a certainty. JP says, really awesome for the boys to get the win. Shelby lazy, and his passing today was more wayward than I can ever remember. No idea how he's still in the team. There was once in the second half, he gave the most lazy pass in the middle of the park. Literally, it was a 6 or 7 yard pass, and he passed it straight to a Burnley player. And I just thought, what the fuck is going on here? What is going on? So I would have had him off way earlier in the game. I would have had Willock on in place of him. But, Brucey knows best, apparently. Wilson didn't do much, but his presence and his runs gives the team such a big lift. Yeah, you have to watch Callum Wilson because he's very, very good at that. Whether he gets the ball or not, what he does is he breaks from... He's on the shoulder of the back four all the time, and he's making runs. And that makes the back four very hesitant. If you look at our second goal, ASM, the defenders were getting dragged more towards Wilson because they were convinced that he was going to play Wilson in, and they were more bothered about Wilson's run. and it let him cut back and finished it brilliantly. And that's the kind of thing he does. So he might not get the ball a lot. It's the runs and the distraction he causes the defenders that is absolutely massive to us. It's Joe Linton doesn't do that, and neither does Dwight Gale. But we have that in Wilson, and that enables players like ASM to run at defenders, and the defenders don't know whether to go or stay because they don't know where the ball's going to end up. And that's why I want ASM like that, at his best, bursting through like that. Just going to withdraw my £165 from Paddy Power. Well done. Nice of you to get some money on a Sunday. Mrs. Bruce will be treating Steve to a pork scratching and bacon combo with a pork pie to follow. Undoubtedly, he will. He'll be a happy man at home tonight. If Bruce stays, no doubt ASM will be off to a Leicester or an Everton or some other team of that standard. You can see that happening, can't you? You can. Hopefully it won't. Let's just keep fingers crossed that things don't deteriorate like that. To call that a poor display by Newcastle after some of the games I saw them play this season is outrageous. Trust me, they didn't play very well. I'm not saying it was the worst game of the season at all, Andre. Not at all. But we didn't play well. Burnley had a lot more certainly chances, shots on goal, crosses into the box, etc. There's a few players we just need to tinker with. But I think we've got a decent team there. It's just certain players are lacking effort. Conjo says Wilson pushed their defence miles back, leaving more space for Maxi to cause havoc. That's what he's good at. That's what I've just mentioned there. That is what he's so good at. I have to go up, Paul. Sorry, I'm struggling to deal with my leg. Hope you can wait for Four Horsemen. Love to be in it one day. Take care. Good luck, Andrew. I know you've got a pot on, so you go and rest up easy, my man. Martin says, I was worried he would replace Shelby for Hendrick. Yeah, I was as well. Barry, another one of the horsemen. Good afternoon, mate. Hope you're well. Thought the result massively outweighed the performance, and we've been saying it for weeks that we just want a result. Let's just enjoy it. Perfectly worded from Barry there. Let's just enjoy it. We can analyse various different things at a later date, whether, our team's going to catch us or we're going to get sucked back into it. We've been saying for so long, we just want 3 points just to give us that little bit of a gap, and we've got it. So let's just enjoy it. VAR officials, Mackham's in disguise. I wouldn't be surprised. Wilson's hold-up plays what we miss when he's not playing. What he does without the ball is overlooked sometimes. Perfectly said. Exactly. You have to really, when you're watching a football match, you don't really notice the off-the-ball stuff that the forward makes, when the ball's getting panged around midfield and stuff like that. But you watch Callum Wilson closely, you'll see what he does. Pulls defenders away, gives opportunity for our midfielders to burst on the scene and have a bit more time on the ball because they're worried that it's going to end up with Wilson in the first place. Show everyone how to do the maxi dance, Paul. Thanks, Jamie. That won't be happening on camera, I'm afraid. Not a chance. Keeping it tuned says Bruce is certainly bringing home the bacon tonight, without a doubt. Feels strange tuning in, all is happy and no raging. Hey, I've been wanting to do this for a long time, to sit here and do a video without my blood pressure sky high or without me screaming so hard that I'm shattering the glass on my cameras and stuff like that. I am just over the moon we got 3 points. I don't want to see us go down. No way. I want to see us in the Premier League next season, ideally with a different manager, but I have a feeling if we stay up, that's going to be Steve Bruce's reward. He's going to keep the job. But hey-ho, I just want to see the team in the Premier League at the minute, and we'll deal with Bruce at a later date. Loved Murphy's passion when he scored, kissing the badge like the true fan he is. He is. He just needs to improve a little bit on his delivery of balls sometimes, playing out and just giving it straight back the opposition. But I think that wing back role he's not a wing back. We need to remember that he's not a wing back, but I think he could really grow into that position. I really do. I think he could grow into that position, learn to play it. If that's the formation that is best for us moving forward, then I would love to see Murphy establish himself at right wing back, because he's got the pace to get up and down. He's got the crossing ability. He just needs to work on his defending a bit, and I think he'll be fine. Stay up, and our best players will stay. They know as well as we do that if the takeover goes through, Bruce will be sacked. They will want to be part of the revolution Toon forever. Yes, they will, and that's something we have to look at because we need to stay in this league. Dave says we can watch Match of the Day and enjoy it now. We certainly can. When was the last time we were able to say that? Or we're not watching it because it's a bland draw, but we won today. Without St. Maximin, we look like Grimsby Town. With St. Maximin, we look like Brazil. I'm just a little concerned that we scored them goals and we went off the boil again. 2 more points and we are safe. Can't see Fulham getting 8 points. I agree with that. It's a long way back now for Fulham. It really is. I love Alan St. Maximin, says Stephen. Yes, I know you do. To at some point, I think that you said you wanted to have his babies, which is a bit disturbing, but I understand. Alex says Dubravka was a bit jittery today, flapped at too many crosses that he should have caught. His kicking was awful as well. Still our best kick. I don't agree, Alex. Yes, his kicking needs improving, and we've always said that about Dubravka, but flapping at the crosses, I'm sorry, mate, I don't agree. If you look back at that game and you see him coming for the crosses, how many punches he connected with, and he went through players to get there. His catching was fantastic. He didn't drop one single ball and cleared the ball when he needed to. So, yes, you've got your opinion on Dubravka. I don't necessarily agree with that, Alex. I agree on his kicking, but not flapping at the crosses today. I thought he was immense, absolutely immense. Tony said ASM looked a little bit chubby today, sweated like a pig and looked tired, but stepped up and performed exactly when needed. Shelby, take note. There's a few people made comments that St. Maximin looks a bit bigger. I'm not sure whether he's just put bulk muscle on, because if you think about how this season's gone for him, how many times he's been sort of roughed up, maybe he just wants to put a bit of beef on muscle-wise. And, so if players try and bounce him off the ball, he's very difficult to knock off. Hopefully that's the case. But again, it'll come with match fitness as well. At this point, I could not care less how we play our football. I'm just enjoying this long overdue win. Damn right. And I think everybody needs to do that. St. Maximin got us out of jail a bit. Yes, he got us out of jail, but I don't really care, because this stage of the season, I don't give a toss. It's the fact that we won 3 points and we've moved 6 points clear of Fulham. And we've improved that goal difference just that little bit more. So that's the positives that have come out of today. I'm not even bothered about the performance to a degree. Do I think we were great? No, nowhere near good enough. The performance lacked a lot today compared to how we played last week against Tottenham. It was a completely different team. However, we've got the 3 points. And that's all I think we as Newcastle fans should really focus on. I think 4 points will be enough, says Derek. Or a lot, yes. I knew he made a spell mistake. West Ham 1-0. I've bet on them and Chelsea getting UCL spots. Exactly, which is why the West Ham game is not going to be an easy game for us, because West Ham are really pushing for a European place this season. They've still got a lot to play for. So they're not going to turn up for the game and think, we're not going to be at it. They'll be at it. No matter who they've got in the team, they will be at it from the off. Martin says 5 at the back negates Almiron's strengths, makes him play too deep. I kind of agree. But, if we're playing the 5, then we've got the 3 in the middle. He could play as a number 10 still. And we've got the 2 up front. So I just think Miggy tries to do a little bit too much. There's too much weight on his shoulders, or he thinks there's too much weight on his shoulders, that he's got to come back into the defence, or he's got to be everywhere on the pitch. I said this last week. I want to see him in the number 10 role. I want to see him at the right end of the pitch for us, where he's supposed to be playing. That's where I want to see Miggy, is dominating that area, running onto the defenders, which I believe he can do. 2 points today in Big Burnley, 1-0 went. Burnley was a good match. Together, not a problem for anybody else, just Newcastle. Fair enough. Trinson, West Ham 1-0, hard game next weekend. Lingard on fire. Exactly. Barry says, sorry, Alex, he was a rock at the end. Exactly. Thoughts on Longstaff today? I thought he was excellent. I mean, he didn't do too much going forward with the ball, but I thought he grafted his arse off today. And nobody can argue with me that he didn't graft his arse off. He was absolutely knackered at the end. And when you look, compared to how I'd love to see the heat maps on where how much Shelby covered to how much Longstaff covered, because I tell you what, it's probably more than double what Shelby covered today. So I was really happy with Sean Longstaff. And I think the more he's in the team, maybe we'll just see his game coming back quicker and quicker. Great win there, Paul. Happy for you lot. Thanks, mate. I know there's a lot of Leeds fans back in Newcastle at the minute. Blitzer 6 points clear at the moment with the game in hand. Lifts some weight off Bruce's shoulders. It certainly does. We know that the game in hand is against Liverpool, but hey, at the minute, it's a game in hand, and that's all we need to concentrate on. Eric says, look at the save Dubravka made against Paul Dummett in the first half. That was as good as a goal at the other end. Of course it was. And he's made some very, very good saves today. You can't say that Dubravka, I don't get that people saying that he was, a bit dodgy. His kicking, yes, but to be fair, his commanding of his penalty area today was absolutely superb. Coming and punching balls, catching them, and it's the way he's vocal with all the defence as well. And I think that's a big thing for our, certainly our back three central defenders. The fact that they've got a real loud vocal goalkeeper in Dubravka now, it just seems a lot more steady to me. And I'm a lot more confident Dubravka coming out for crosses than I was with Darlow, because do I think Darlow is a bit of a weak link with crosses? Yes, I do. But hey-ho, I'm not here to have a go at Darlow either. I just think Dubravka was immense today. Hard game next, but if we work as a team, we might have a chance of a draw. We just need to keep getting points now. We need to get points in the bag and keep digging the knife into Fulham and keeping them away. Now against Fulham, but hope their heads go down now. Looks promising. Totally agree. Barry says point against Arsenal, 3 against Sheffield United. We are safe. I'd go with that. Yeah, 4 more points, and I think it's too much for Fulham. Start that team against West Ham with Willock in for Shelvey, and we've got a chance. That's exactly the team I'd go for, Martin. To be honest, 100% agree with that. Take Shelvey out, put Willock in, and with ASM and Wilson up front, we have got a hell of a chance. Paul says 1 survival, 2 take over. Bruce sacked in any order, please. Richard said I take a point from the West Ham game right now. Was there a quality side? Certainly are. A2 says commentators saying Bruce made inspired subs. How man, most obvious changes ever in football, and that's what really makes me laugh about some of these pundits. They think the magnificent commentators saying, "Oh, by the way, it was such a wonderful substitution." It was always going to fucking happen. There was no way that Steve Bruce was going to keep them 2 on the bench, and there's no way that he wasn't going to bring them on at the same time. It was crying out for them. And, it wasn't a Bruce Masters stroke at all. Every single Newcastle United fan knew what was going to happen. So I'm sorry, I'm not having the commentators saying it was an inspired substitution. That's just a load of shite. Fulham players looked relegated already after the loss at Wolves. Hope this win puts the wind in our sails. Mentally, we have to be in a better position. Play for the badge, lads. Well said. And I just hope they continue to do that for the rest of the season. What do you think about the games coming up, considering we're struggling quite a bit against Burnley? I've already said the games coming up are going to be just... I mean, we're going to struggle in quite a few of them, aren't we? We've got West Ham, who are a very, very good side at the minute. Leicester City, who, if they turn up, I know they've been a bit hit and miss this season, but they're still up there. That's not going to be easy. Arsenal are just all over the place. Don't know what to expect from Arsenal. Man City and Liverpool, well, I can't see us getting anything from them games, but you just never know in football, do you? Would prefer Matty or Willock in the midfield rather than Shelvey. Yeah, but unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see Matty again this season. I really don't. I think Bruce has made his decision on that, and that's final, really. He's told Matty's in the under-23s for the foreseeable, and that's the way it's going to be. David said, Longstaff, consecutive good performances. Maybe his career can be saved despite Bruce. There's a performer in there. I know there is, and I'm delighted for Sean today. That just proved to me, that Sean Longstaff is 100% committed to keeping Newcastle in the Premier League. And he is a Geordie. He loves the club. And you want players like that who are going to be in the team fighting for every tooth and nail. And he did that today. He covered every blade of grass. He was all over the place. And I thought he did really well today. Mark says, Newcastle win today. Hope I get a point against West Ham. Hey, why not go for the win against West Ham? We keep saying here, just get points. Why not try and win the game? We've proved, if you look back in the games, if we go to try and win football matches, we perform quite well. It's when we sit back and play for draws that we are dodgy as hell. But if we go with teams, we look so much better. We look like we can score goals. So for me, go for it. Dubravka was brilliant, man of the match. Paul, what did you think about playing 5 at the back? I think you shouldn't play that. I quite like the formation. I think it's a settled formation, Tom, and one that we should maybe keep because, 4 points in 2 games now with that formation. There's no reason to change the formation, just a couple of the personnel, and we'll be fine. I really do think that. Shelvey, as is no so far, Bruce's arse, he will always be picked. Yep, I agree with that. And I think that that was the case when he got interviewed, wasn't he, saying how much of a wonderful manager Bruce is. That's been proved not to be the case. Burnley bombarded us, won a lot of headers in the box, had 5,000 corners, but we had the better cleared chances. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. The 3 central defenders were outstanding today for us. Really, really, really pleased with the way they performed. The fight, the effort, everything was there. And that's what I want to see from our defenders, putting their bodies on the line. Yeah, the pundits will say it's a master tactician. Of course they will, because they love him. We need to be aiming to take over Brighton. We can definitely get another 6 points from tough games. I agree. Yes, I do. Imagine if we beat City. My sister is happy Chelsea are 1 foot in the UCL semi-finals. Roman is offering Dortmund 150 million for Haaland in the summer. Wouldn't it be nice for us to be involved in them sort of deals? It really would. Tony says it's nice after a Newcastle game to relax and watch other games on a Sunday and not give a shit about the results. Totally agree with that. I mean, it's a bizarre situation for us Newcastle fans to be in, to be honest. To be in a situation where we're watching the rest of the sport on a Sunday or enjoying our Sunday lunch at tea time or whatever it may be, to think, wow, Newcastle won today. I haven't got to worry about anything. It's incredible. This channel will go far too, Geordie the second. Keep it going, mate. Thanks, Dale. I appreciate all the lovely comments I've had over the last few days, by the way. Thank you very much. If you are enjoying the show, guys, please smash the like button. If you're new to the channel and you like what you see, lots of live streams, lots of recordings on here. Great shows as well, especially the one coming up tomorrow night, The Four Horsemen. Always just a disgraceful, filthy show, but it's something different. It's something different. So 8 o'clock tomorrow night, that'll be back as well. Big 3 points. Sean Hendrick, any day of the week. Good to have someone who knows what this club means on the pitch. Richie might as well have been born in the RVI. This is his club and I love him for it. Yeah, I mean, the passion he still shows. And I saw once in the first half when we were under a bit of the cosh, Richie went to take a throw in and he was screaming at everybody, jigging the lads up. That's a captain right there. I don't care what anybody says. Richie is our captain and I won't have any other. Shelvey is not a captain. I doubt Steve Bruce will try and win the coming games. He'll probably put 5 at the back again. Look, at the end of the day, I don't mind if we get points. I think that formation that we played today and last week kind of works. And it'll certainly suit, St. Maximin if Wilson and St. Maximin start next week. Because like we've said, Wilson can pull the defenders away and it leaves real opportunities for the likes of Almiron and Maxi to just run at them and cause all sorts of problems like Maxi did for his goal today. Miggy should have laced that chance at the end, always tries to side foot. Yeah, I know, he does that. I've noticed that about Miggy. Side foots a lot of things when he should put his foot through it. A bit like Joe Linton, to be fair. Trade Joe Linton for Haaland. Yeah, that would be a deal of the millennium. If we could get a swap deal going for that, then not in a million years is that ever going to happen, though. Nice view. Too many beers late hangover Monday. Just enjoy the beers, Dale. Sod the hangover. It doesn't matter. Just think of the hangover when you have to. Chris says, amazing what taking off 2 championship strikers, enjoying Gale and bring on 2 Premier League players can do to a performance. Totally right, Chris. And, I've said for a long time and took a little bit of flack for it that I think Gale is a championship defender and I'll always stick by those comments. I do think he's a championship defender. But, he's the change was made and we just looked a different team, didn't we, going forward? We just threatened so much more. And you could tell the defenders were very much more wary of Wilson and Maxi than they were of the other two. They just didn't scare them at all. But when those two came on, different kettle of fish. Michael says, afternoon, Paul Buzzing. We have 3 points and you're not angry, even though it's good content. But at the same time, I'm still frustrated how Bruce has put us in this position. Look, at the end of the day, right, we're always going to have the same opinion that Bruce is not the right man and he needs to go. And I'm, one win is not going to change my feelings on that. The man is inept. He's a donkey. He's got to go. But at the minute, all I want to concentrate on is my club staying in the Premier League. And, we'll deal with Bruce at a later date. If we stay in the Premier League, fantastic. Do I think we need a new manager to come in? Absolutely. Just because we stay in the Premier League doesn't mean that Bruce is the man for us at all, because we know he isn't. He's absolutely dreadful. Leeds fan here, keep up the good work, man. I watch the channel every week. Thanks, Darren. Appreciate it, matey. Joel says, Paul, you're a good guy. Knows have good casts. Keep it up. Thank you. Appreciate that. Jake says, Burnley were better, yes, but who came away with the 3 points? Don't think Burnley fans will be happy because they played better than relegation threat in Newcastle. 3 points is all that matters. And you're right, because it drags Burnley back into it. And that's the thing. Burnley are dragged back into it, and that is all that counts. They'll be looking over their shoulder now and thinking, we're not safe either. Because if Fulham were to pick up a couple of wins and we all got bunched up again, my God, I mean, the last couple of games of the season could be immense. Absolutely immense. Anyone for a virtual Pop World piss up tonight, says Chris. I'd be in for that. Shelvey is not even Sunday League standard. Well, I don't know about that. I just think Shelvey's one of these players for me that will look back on his career when he's retired and kick himself because he could have been so much more. Nobody can tell me that Shelvey doesn't have ability because he's a wonderful passer of the ball, but there's something missing with John Joe Shelvey, whether it be it's just general attitude isn't right or, some kind of mental blockage he's got. I don't know what it is with Shelvey. He can turn up for one game and be outstanding and then disappear for 6 or 7. So I genuinely think that Shelvey may look at his career when it's all over and think, I could have done so much more. I could have been an England player. I could have been anything because he had so much promise and we know he's got ability. That's never been in question. It's always been his attitude and his effort. And that is the thing that isn't there with John Joe at the minute. Tom says, will Maximum be at Newcastle next season? That is the $1 million question, Tom. I'm not so sure. We'll see what league we're in next season, and then we'll go from there, I think. It's important. Maxi got man of the match and was only on the field for like half an hour. Shows you how much we missed him, definitely. But I still think Dubravka should have got the man of the match. What a difference not having Kraft playing. I mean, yeah. How better did those 3 central defenders look today to Emil Kraft? Just a crazy decision last week to play him. It really was. Brian says every club hated Abramovich because he's buying every world-class player. Spurs owners won't do deals with him. That's very true. But at the end of the day, if we were Newcastle United owned by Abramovich, I don't think we'd be complaining, neither would we. David says ASM is my man of the match without a shadow of a doubt. Again, on a non-NUFC note, Jesse Lingard is unplayable at the moment. Worried about what he will do against us. Let's worry about it when it comes, Jag. Let's not try and get ahead of ourselves here. Let's worry. You know what? I wasn't bothered. I know we were linked with him in the transfer window, and I did turn around and say that I wasn't bothered because I didn't think his attitude was right and I didn't think his heart was in football anymore. And I've been made to eat humble pie on Lingard because he's been fantastic for West Ham since he's gone there. I think he wanted to move to London. Do I think Manchester United will sell him in the summer? Possibly. The way he was treated at Man United wasn't really very nice, and I don't think he'll go back there willingly. I think West Ham is possibly the best place he could go to. And he's certainly turning it on down there without a shadow of a doubt. Every Premiership manager watching Match of the Day tonight will be thinking that they must have St. Maximin on their side. It's always the downside of having a star player in your side like him. Exactly. And that's why we need some sort of takeover. So we've got some ambition. We've got some positivity at the club. And the new owners can turn around to Maxi and say, look, we are here to win things with Newcastle United. It may take a couple of years, but you stick with us. We'll build a team around you kind of thing, and you will win things at Newcastle United. So, it depends on whether something like that happens, a takeover or something like that. 2-0 West Ham, interesting. This is definitely one of the best Toon channels. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Really, so many kind comments. It's immense, and thank you very much for that. Dale says 3 points is massive. You can only compete against the team against you. Hopefully more to come in the next 5 hard games. Yeah. We've got to go into it with the same, with a good mentality. I've always said all along, if I see our team going out there and playing well, and actually, well, not so much playing well, just playing with heart and desire. We might be playing against a team that is way, way better than us. And that's going to happen in the next few games. But if I see our team working hard, making an effort, and trying to get something out of the game, I will applaud them off at the end and say, hey, we did try, but unfortunately there's better teams out there than us, and this was one of them. But at least we can say we gave it a go, and that's all I want to see from Newcastle United. I will hold my hands up and say we're beaten by the better team if we go out there and give it a try. The positive responses from Leeds fans almost makes me forgive them for bricking the coach we were on long time ago, Tony. Let's just water under the bridge. There's some very, very good Leeds fans out there, and a lot of them follow this channel. So Leeds, for me, I just think are a fantastic club with fantastic fans. David says Shelvey is one of the best passers of a ball I have seen at St. James's Park. Unfortunately, he is a weak character and needs replacing. Exactly what I've just said, David. He had so much ability. It's just the rest of it lets him down. Couldn't agree more with you about Shelvey, Paul. Man has quality and could be so much more. Just plain laziness. Yeah, it is. And that's what I'm saying about him. He'll be looking back in his career and thinking, Jesus Christ, that could have been so much more. Last 5 minutes of the show, guys. You want to get your comments in about today's performance? Slam them in now, and I'll get through them as quick as I can before the end of the show. Troll says, have a good one. Stay safe, Paul, and the rest. Lee says there was some confusion on the bench because Bruce was looking for Hendrick at the 65th minute, but couldn't find him. He glanced over at the Burnley bench and saw him sitting there because of habit, I guess. He wasn't coming on after 65 minutes. He wouldn't have dared. Chris says we win one of our last 7 games. Fulham have to win 3 of their last 6. We've got this. Yep, I'm way more confident now after getting 3 points today than I have been in the last few days. So, let's just hope we can build. Let's just hope we stay in the Premier League. And, in the summer, we have a massive clear out, management included. And we start getting on the right track and building this amazing club back to where it belongs. Tom says Arsenal, Fulham, Chelsea. Yeah, difficult games for Fulham, but we've got difficult games as well. I honestly believe ASM loves being here. If he had just a slice of ambition, I don't think he'd leave. Let's hope it's Mandy's tricky mags next season. I totally agree. I really hope that something is going on in the background. I'm not building my hopes up, though. We'll see what happens with the arbitration, and then we'll go from there. We don't demand a team that wins, but that tries. Well said, Dave. Exactly what I've just been explaining there. Look at West Ham. Yeah. Love this channel, man. You're the best on YouTube for Newcastle United. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate that. West Ham wants to buy him. He's just finding the money. 35 million for the way Lingard is playing at the minute, Brian, is a fantastic price. And I think a lot of club owners and club managers will be looking at that thinking, 35 mil, is Lingard somebody you can build your team around? Maybe. If you say to him, look, keep your head down. You're playing fantastically well. This is your big opportunity to shine away from the spotlight of Manchester United. We can build a team around you. You can get back in the England squad and really make your career, turn it back around again onto the right track. And that's what he needs to do. I think Newcastle are almost safe, and I'm glad, but I still hope they have a new manager next term. Oh, God, so do we. Leila says, what's your thoughts on Leeds beating Man City? Who will you take, Rafinha or St. Maximin? What are your thoughts on Leeds? I take St. Maximin. Leeds, just a breath of fresh air, Leila, to be honest. They remind me of how we were under Keegan, just with the attitude of you score 4, we'll score 5. But it's the way they attack. They never put their heads down. If they're 4-0 down, they still play the same way. And to be a Leeds fan this season after the shite that they've been through, quite honestly, over the last few years, must be amazing for them because, yes, they've lost quite heavily on a few occasions, but so did our team in the 90s, remember? We weren't perfect all the time. And I just love watching them. Their attitude, the manager's attitude, it's just a never say die. And I'd love our team to have that attitude on a match basis because sometimes we don't get that with Newcastle. Who would like Leeds manager if we get a takeover? Bielsa. I think he'd be aiming a bit higher. I think, if we've got a takeover, I think we can really start. I said this on my show yesterday, the press conference show I did with Kev. And I think, if you look at where we are now, we're kind of shopping in Pound Stretcher and Wilkinson's for managers, but if we've got to take over, it starts going up to sort of Harrods and things like that. And it all depends. A takeover is massive for this football club. Dale says, depends which way Voldemort's head is facing. He has too, doesn't he? His head's all over the place. It's certainly not where we need it to be. So Maximin today was a beast. I think will survive. David says, I can't wait for tomorrow night's show. God knows what that's going to entail. 3 points, Paul. 3 points. Say it again, buddy. Doesn't it feel nice to say that? 3 points. Yes, it really does. Newcastle should be able to stay in the Premier League. I agree with that. I don't see why Hendrick keeps coming on towards the end of the game. He hardly touches the ball and offers no contribution to the team. He shouldn't even be in the team. He shouldn't be in the squad. He's not good enough. People who can say we beat West Ham, no chance. I really, really want us to beat West Ham. I'd love to turn around and say we put a performance in, but let's just enjoy what we have. Let's just enjoy this win. For this week, we can celebrate the fact that we've won our last game, and then we'll start building up to West Ham later on in the week. Dave says, great shows ever, Paul. Cheers, see you tomorrow on the Four Horsemen. Yeah, the Four Horsemen will be back tomorrow at 8 o'clock with me, Barry, John, and Peter. God knows what that show is going to entail. It seems to have just taken off, completely taken off, because it's something that you don't get on the other Newcastle United channels. It's 18 rated without a shadow of a doubt. Some of the comments that we get in about sort of where's John and Joe Linton at, and Steve Bruce lookalikes, all these kind of things. It's an 18 plus rated show without a shadow of a doubt. But it just gives people a laugh on a Monday night, and that's what it's all about. We talk a bit about the football, and then it just goes to shit after that. And some of the comments we're getting are absolutely fantastic. So that will be on again. It's 8 o'clock tomorrow night on this channel. So do make sure you set a reminder for that. Tom says, imagine if we had Lingard. Yeah, I mean, we could have tried maybe to go for him in the transfer window, but we didn't. All these nice comments aren't being nice. We're being truthful. The way you do your channel, the way you speak, the words you use, absolutely nailed it, mate. This channel will go for Paul and Joy. Thank you so much, Dale. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Shelby should be dropped now. He's rubbish, not a great captain. Completely agree with that. Rafinha is quality, though. Paul and Stuart Dallas will walk into our midfield. Hey, yeah, I'm not saying that there's quite a few Leeds players I would love to have. Don't get me wrong, without a shadow of a doubt. Amaz's husband still has eyes on us. Yeah. It's a nice, good, filthy show. He's talking about the Four Horsemen there. Thanks, Dave. Important winter day. You're staying up. Hopefully so. Last couple of comments now. Norwich are a breath of fresh air. They'll be like Leeds in the Premier League. Well, you could say that, but Norwich have been a bit of a yo-yo club of late, and they'll want to put an end to that. They'll want to try and establish themselves in the Premier League for a good few years, rather than getting promoted, going down, promoted, going down. It can't be very nice doing that. I think a point against West Ham would be a bonus if we can't win, but definitely not a loss. Lil says yesterday was smash and grab Leeds. Best YouTuber on YouTube. Love your channel. Thank you so much. And finally, Josh says Fulham going to close the gap when we play the next 5 matches. It's going to be us versus Fulham. Mitrovic going to flop and get a pen and Dubravka saves. That is too nail biting. No chance. I don't want that to happen. Brilliant content. Love your videos, Paul. Thank you very much. Great show, Paul. Can't wait for tomorrow's show. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Right, that is the end of the match reaction. A very happy match reaction for once. I'm not going to have to take blood pressure tablets now because I'm happy. I'm going to go downstairs, spend the rest of the day with the family and have a good laugh with the kids and just enjoy the rest of Sunday and actually believe that we've got 3 points. I'm not going to go downstairs and have my head battered. It's just going to be a nice Sunday afternoon for all Newcastle United fans. We can actually go onto social media and tweet how it feels so different to get 3 points. No, we didn't play well, but who gives a shit? We got the 3 points, and that's what it's all about, is getting the 3 points. So, yeah, we've done it. I will be back with a recorded video with my sort of match overview and player rating, so do keep a lookout on Twitter for that. That's probably going to be out sometime tomorrow. I don't really want to record another video now. I'm going to spend time with the kids. So, I'll probably record that first thing in the morning and get that out round about lunchtime-ish. So keep an eye out for that, for the player ratings. And then it's the Four Horsemen at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. God knows what we're going to get on there. It's going to be absolutely mental. Some of the comments you guys put in. And you know what? It's crazy because some people say, oh, these childish jokes coming in and all of this. It's not. It's all about talking about Newcastle United, talking about football, and then just having a laugh, just letting your hair down and having a laugh, which is why I do the show. It's had some great responses. Lots of people looking forward to it again. It grows every week. The viewing figures grow on it every week, which is exactly what I want to see. So thank you to everybody out there who does that. So if you've enjoyed this show, remember to please smash that like button. And if you are new to the channel, do consider subscribe and have a look at the other videos and see what you think. Certainly not going to force you to subscribe, but if you do like what you see, do hit the subscription button because it's grown every day. And it's thanks to you guys out there that it is growing. I just sit here in front of the camera and do what I can. You guys make the channel grow, and I'll always be very respectful for that. So thank you very much. So I will catch you again on the Four Horsemen tomorrow night. And then, of course, Fan Forum on Tuesday night where you can come on onto the show and join me and have a chat about the game and stuff like that. So looking forward to that as well. But in the meantime, guys, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Enjoy your apple pie and custard. And I'll see you tomorrow night. Take care, everyone. Be strong. Be strong.